Take a step into the river, get down on your knees. Come to the mountain while taking in the view. You will find that life is greater than you knew. When you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight, I will fight.
A reverse osmosis water filtration system. So there's the water going in the glass. Maybe not designed to stand in the middle of the river. So here we have it, the ITEHIL. So here we are. This is the Riveresque. This video is all about water for wild camping, and a filtration system, a reverse osmosis system that you can take water out of polluted rivers. And let's face it, from the intro you've seen the state of our water system in the UK, and you can use it and drink it. And I'm just about to get the unit and put it in here and drink some water straight out of here. So here we are. This is the Riveresque, the Yorkshireesque. So I'm going to put the water filter in. It's rather brown. I hope my waders don't leak. I put a climbing slinger on it to put it around my neck. So the wastewater will come out the blue end, and my drinking water will come out of here. Switch it on, started to run. Things you do for YouTube. Here we go. So first of all, we'll look at how clean the water is. So there's the water going in the glass. That's the colour of the water in the river. There's a noticeable difference there, isn't there? Now for the taste test. Looks super clean. Smells alright. And it tastes like water. Oh. No bits or anything in it. So it's still running, so in theory this should be the dirty water coming out of it. Look at that, there's a difference there. Significantly different. So that's all the concentrated nasties out the water. So that's just the water scooped out the river. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it is a brown colour. Doesn't smell of a nice. I'm certainly not going to taste it. So it works. Maybe not designed to stand in the middle of the river and wear it round your neck, but just to prove a point. Quite bizarre, isn't it, really? It's 170 years ago, Dr. John Snow discovered in Soho that people was getting cholera from taking water from a particular water pump. And he famously took the handle off the water pump so they couldn't drink from that particular pump. And the cases of cholera dropped down. And it was discovered that the reason they had cholera because the water system they was drinking from was contaminated by sewerage. And here we are, 170 years later, but we're no better off basically. So I did the setup of this in the cottage because I thought it was going to be complicated, but it's not at all. But we'll just click back to the cottage and I'll show you how it went. Now I thought I'd do the setup in the house because I thought it was going to be really complicated, but looking at it, it's not that complicated. It does come with an instruction book. You get your water intake, so it's got a first phase filter on there that will go into the dirty water that you're going to filter. This screws into this side of the unit. You get two pipes. This is for the drinking water and this is for the wastewater. You get your first filter, which takes most of the bits and pieces out, and then you get your reverse osmosis filter that finally takes everything out and just lets the water through. There's a little bag in there with your lead. It charges off USB. There's a tool there to put the actual filters in. I'll show you that in a minute. It comes with a bag to store it in and your pipes to store it in. That's waterproof. So USB charging, just plugs in the side and it flashes until it goes red till it's fully charged. On the top here, there's two holes. This is just a handle, by the way. There's two holes, one for your first filter and the second filter there, slide in and you turn it with the tool. On this end here, if you're reading above here, it actually says which is which. So this side here is the wastewater and that just pushes in there. And this one here, food grade piping of course, is your drinking water which pushes in there. It's got a cover on there once you've finished. The one for this side, as I say, is the intake pipe which is screwed. It's got a thread on there and that screws into there. This here looks a bit odd, but it's just a handle. I wondered what it was when I first saw it. And all the instructions, as well as the instruction book, which is really straightforward, I thought it was going to be complicated, but it's really straightforward, are on here. And once you get it set up, the first time you use it, you want to flush water through it for about 10 minutes. So that's why I thought I'd do it in here than do it out in the van, just to make sure it all works okay and it's easy to put together. And I've got a bit more room to film it as well. So we'll put the water intake pipe in first, which screws in here. I have to rotate the full thing because it's not on a swivel, but that just simply screws into there like so. Just do it hand tight, and that's the bit that goes into the water that you're going to filter. And it's got some first phase filter in there, so it's a small mesh and then some filter in the first bit, so that just takes the big lumps out basically. You probably can't see it on the camera, but it is actually printed above this side here. This is the drinking water, so that's the white pipe, and they just simply push in like so and they lock in, and this is your dirty water. So as it filters through the system, it takes it through this one, through the two filter systems. Your clean drinking water comes out of this, and the water with all the nasties in comes out the blue one. To fit the filters, it's clearly marked on here. This is your RO filter, reverse osmosis, and this is your hybrid filter. And you put them in this way and rotate them round to lock, and there's arrows on there to show it. And you have this tool to push it down to do it. These are plastic wrapped, so that's the hybrid, that goes in there. You line the arrow up, use this tool, and it rotates around to lock it in place. So you press down and lock it, and you can hear the air coming out because it causes an airtight seal. So on the bottom of these, there's two O-rings. So as you compress it down, there's a little bit of silicone grease on them. So as you compress it down, it locks them in place. So again, with this, there's a little arrow on there. You line it up with the open side. Take the tool, you probably don't actually need this. Take the tool, press it down, rotate, and it's locked in. And they both sit flush like that. It says in the instructions, the initial setup, I've got a bowl full of water there. And this is just to flush the system. The filters are in. There's my waste pipe, the blue one. There's my drinking water pipe, and it says to run this for about 10 minutes. So it has its own battery in there. So you press and hold the on button, and there it is, it's running. It's already sucking the water out of there, if you can see the bubbles on there. It's very quiet. And soon we should see two lots of water coming out of this. You can start to hear the water run through now. There's some water, clean water coming out of that one, and that would be the dirty water. I'm only using clean water to flush it. So it's a reasonable flow rate. It's interesting though, look how much clean water is coming out, and look how much is coming out the wastewater. So there's the water coming out the waste. Now if we was using dirty water, that would have all the nasties in it. So the main difference, as we say with this, is if you use a standard filter system, you put the water through a filter system like an osmosis system, and it lets the water fill through, the water molecules fill through, but the rest of the nasties stay in there until the filter's full, and then you replace the filter. In this one, it actually separates the bad. So this would be the bad water with all the nasties in and concentrated, and then this would be the fresh water, which is drinkable. It's moving more water than I expected to quickly, so I've had to put the ball in here and top it up again. So we'll leave this running for 10 minutes as it says, and then the system should all be ready to use, and we'll go back to the van. The sound of it, I'm right close to it as it's running. Actually run it while it's plugged in as well, if you're near a power source or a power bank. All working well, there's no leaks from anywhere. That's just finishing now. It's run out of water. It's been running for over 10 minutes. Now to get the water out of the system for moving it about, I've just left it running for a bit, and it'll self-drain the system. It's just taking the last of the water out of there, look. So that'll drain the system, make it easier for moving it about. Place the pipes in. It's just a case of push them in, like so, and that gives the seal. And to remove them, you press the background, this little washer, and they slide out again. And of course the one on the back you just unscrew. So here we have it, the ITEHIL Reverse Osmosis Water System. Super easy to use and super safe. As I said when I was stood in the river, and by the way I didn't catch any fish because everybody's bound to ask. It's super easy to use. I like the way it's got its own battery in as well. But if you think about it, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you want to take some water out of a fresh water supply, a river, a lake, a loch or something, as long as it's not salt water, you can run it through this and you can be reassured that the quality of the water is going to be good. Takes all the nasties out because of the way this works and the separation of the bad water from the clean drinking water, and the way the actual filter works, and it's pressurized, push the water molecules through that filter. It's super safe. So it takes out medicines that can be in the water, heavy metals, bacteria, parasites, all those nasties. And considering many years ago I used to run expeditions in Canada canoeing, and then we tried to kill everything in the water. We didn't really filter it, we tried to kill things in the water. And you'd put bleach in the water, you put drops of bleach in the water, a special bleach to clean it. And you had very clean teeth, but God knows what it did to your insides. So this is a very clever and efficient way of filtering water. And I'm very impressed with it. But check down below the details. There'll be links to their websites, all the specifications and all the science behind it. And also Google it as well and look at reverse osmosis water filtration systems. You'll be surprised how good they are and the amount of research that's been done by them. The majority of water you buy in bottles has probably been through a system like this, the same sort of process. So that just leaves me to say thanks again for watching. Check the description to see if there's any offers or discount codes, and we'll see you on the next one. Bloody YouTube.
Fall. You should have set a rope up.
You didn't get the one where I ended up on my backside though, did you?
No, but I've seen the back of your trousers. Mud. That would have been a good one if I'd have filmed you slipping in.
Look at that, like a gazelle, like a mountain goat.
Yeah, right. Cheers.
This video is all about water for wild camping.